Welcome again to Aussie Beer TV. I'm Ty, and this is Brent. And today we're in a different place again, Brent.
It is a bit different, mate.
It's very urban.
It is a bit urban, and hopefully we're safe here.
Are we safe? Or?
Hopefully we are. We're in the back alley in Melbourne. We've come here today. We're in the natural habitat of the object that we're going to discuss today, mate. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, you'd probably find these things littered throughout all this alleyway, in bins, on the ground, on shelves, half empty, blah blah blah. Cans and bottles.
Cans and bottles, okay.
And bottles. So today we're talking about the benefits, pros and cons of the can versus the bottle. A sort of debate that's been raging for quite a while.
Old age argument,
from about the 1930s, cans came along. So since then, there's always been that sort of, you know, over the barbecue, out on the town with your mates. What do you prefer, cans or bottles?
Okay, so 1930s when cans came around.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think bottles have been around since about the 19th century.
Okay.
And before that, there was only one vessel.
And what was that?
There was only one option. It was the keg.
The beer keg.
Of course. He only had draft beer. Then bottles came, then cans came, and everyone said, "Well, what's better?"
Yep.
You know.
So cans, mate. I mean,
cans are pretty straightforward. You got your stock standard run-of-the-mill can, which are sort of these ones here. Everyone knows those. You got this one here, which is basically called a widget can. Now Guinness are one example of having a widget can. In this can, there's a little small metal ball. When you open this can up, the ball kind of does its magic, releases some gases, it replicates the beer coming out of a keg. So it foams up, you get that nice head. So the old widget can. Not sure if you can hear that. And this last one's the more of a marketing tool. This sort of funky can, the Sapporo can. Looks kind of cool, nice to hold, a bit stronger.
Feels a bit,
So I mean, but basically cans are pretty straightforward, Brent.
Cans are cans.
Cans are cans.
Bottles. So we've probably got three basic colours that the bottles come in. Brown, which I guess is the original colour and the colour that most people identify with.
Brown glass.
In sort of the Second World War, I think it was, Ty. So brown glass became a bit scarce. They need to use a different colour, different type of glass. Over in Europe, they started off using green glass, which has sort of stayed with.
That's right. And even today, green glass, you got this impression that it's an imported European beer, which all kicked off, as you say, in World War II when they had to use green glass.
Which is sort of ironic, isn't it?
That is ironic.
It's a premium brand, yet they had to use it back then.
That's right.
And then we've also got clear glass. For me, it sort of brings up connotations of sort of, you know, that sort of South American.
That's right.
And so forth. So they're the basic three colours. Also variations, slight variations. I know you're a big Grolsch fan, mate.
Flip top.
Yeah, it's exactly right. No need for the bottle opener.
No need for the bottle opener. And also aluminium cans and sort of aluminium bottles. And also plastic bottles were sort of around there.
Come up now.
Exactly. More for convenience and
festivals
and safety. Outdoor festivals, that's right. So,
pros and cons, mate.
Okay, what are the plus and minuses?
Longevity.
Yeah, longevity. So longevity is all about what keeps light out best.
Because light hurts beer.
Light flavour and taste, light impacts beer.
For me, I mean, it's got to be canned, surely, doesn't it, mate?
Well, you think so. I mean, not much light getting in a can, but now glass bottles, as you said, brown's best, then green, and sort of clear glass is the worst. But you think glass bottles will let light in, right?
When they do let light in.
Well, they do let light in. When they make glass bottles at factories or at beer factories, it goes in a box.
Package them up.
Packaged in a box, comes out in a box. Not much light in a box at all. So, and most likely when you're opening your glass bottle, you take it out of the box when you take it home or from the bottle shop. So it stays in the box for most of its life. It's really only when you're drinking the beer at the very end stages that
there's a chance.
Exactly.
So pretty much even, mate.
Exactly. Even in the fridge at home, the fridge in the bottle shop, it's not natural sunlight getting on the beer. So even though cans are better, glass is not far behind.
Taste, mate, for me, personal preference is bottles.
Taste?
Something about it. I mean, it's just my personal preference. People talk about the metallic taste coming out of the cans. I can't really taste that.
You're right. It's more. I mean, taste is a big one. I mean, in the olden days, cans sort of used to taint the beer.
They've come along.
Bit of a metallic, long way. I mean, the cans used to explode when they first started putting beer in cans.
That's pretty full on.
Yeah, it used to explode. So you come a long way, but people still have the connotation that canned beer is maybe not as a premium product as glass beer.
So we've gone through
longevity,
taste.
Now coldness. Coldness is a big one. In a country like Australia, coldness is pretty important.
About the coldness. Glass, a bit scientific, mate. Stay with me on this.
You've done your research.
I've done my research. Glass is an insulator. Metal, aluminium, is a conductor.
Okay. So what you're saying to me is that beer is going to stay colder in glass for longer.
In a nutshell, mate, that's correct.
Fair enough.
So I've got a glass bottle in my hand, you've got a can in your hand. the can is going to heat up sooner in your hand, holding in your hand than what the glass.
So in terms of coldness, glass wins, but stubbies, you get to use a stubby holder, Brent.
Of course,
and it's pretty cool having a stubby holder.
It is pretty cool.
So anyway, so listen, just as we wrap this up, environmental.
So recyclability, I think they are able to recycle a greater percentage of cans than what they are bottles.
They can.
However, as always these days with the environmental sort of issue, there's a bit of a flip side there. It's actually less of an impact on the environment to produce bottles than what it is cans initially.
Because the amount of energy to make a can, you're a bit of a greenie, aren't you?
Mate.
One thing we haven't touched on is convenience.
If I'm walking somewhere, got to carry something, it's got to be the cans.
Yeah, they're lighter.
Can stack better. You can put them on top of each other.
In your fridge, you can stack the cans up better.
When you're packing up to go home, you can crunch them up.
That's right. You're at the beach, you finish your beers, crunch your cans up. A bit harder with the bottles. You drop a bottle,
drop those beauties on the floor. You got sort of issues.
Exactly. So I think the fact that it's easy to carry and store and etc. Cans win the convenience argument.
Okay. X Factor, mate.
The X Factor.
Something that I'm sure is at the back of the mind of a lot of people. Perhaps not talked about as much, but consider a Friday night, you're out in town, you're dressed up, you got the suit on, you got a bit of cash in your wallet.
Maybe trying to meet some ladies.
That's exactly right, mate. It's got to be the bottle, It's got that sort of X Factor style sort of appeal about it.
Look good, feel good kind of a thing.
Good.
Yeah, that's right. It's got a bit the connotation, a bit of style, a bit of a...
That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. So the bottle probably in that regard.
Although in Australia, the cans are associated to a great Australian legend, Booney, Flight, 52 odd cans. He hasn't confirmed it himself.
He drank 52 cans on the way to London, didn't he? So that's kind of so that's kind of a big thing.
It's a bit of a rugged sort of more sort of a bit of Australian sort
but
of
I think in a nutshell, we've gone through all the pros and cons. Bottles have won some, cans have won some. In a nutshell, it comes down to personal preference, doesn't it?
It does a bit, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So make your own mind up to what you think's better.
But there is an alternative, mate. Cans, bottles, there is another alternative.
There is one more, Brent. There's one thing that's better for holding your beer, we think, than a can or a bottle.
Yep. And we're going to grab one of those?
We're going to grab one of those right now. So, Brent, here we are. The humble glass.
The glass. You got to love the glass tie. I mean, what does this give you in terms of benefit over sort of a can or a bottle?
I'll tell you one thing. You can smell the beer, Brent. You can get the aromas. You can get the.
You can see it. You can actually see it.
You can see it. You can see the wonderful colour.
Bit of a head.
You can see the head. You can sort of experience it all. You can, and like as I said before, the smells, the aromas, really adds to the taste of the beer. As with food or drink in general.
Yeah.
So you can experience the beer out of a glass. We think a lot better than a can or a bottle.
Definitely. So for me, mate, it's got to be glass. Number one. If I can't get a glass for whatever reason, out of a bottle, and then thirdly can.
Exactly. I mean, out of a exactly. I mean, that nice frothy head. Get a bit of the old beer mustache. Just better out of a glass, Brent.
Yep, definitely. So there we go. Pros and cons of the cans versus the bottles. We reckon the glass is best if you've got one floating around.
Yeah, of course. If you've got one.
Yeah. We've been Aussie Beer TV. Check us out.
Cheers.